COVID-19 continues to wreak havoc on the nation, showing no mercy to rural towns. We'll take a look at some of the challenges these communities are facing with getting the vaccine.
Plus, a major vaccine milestone in Arizona as we surpass distributing 1 million doses, but not everyone is happy with who's gotten it so far.
And later this half hour on Break It Down, how people with ethnic names are often invalidated.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Jenna Delatorre.
And I'm Reed Harmon. Thank you for joining us. One of the country's hot spots for COVID is right here in Arizona. Yuma County and the city of Yuma itself have a unique set of challenges. That comes from being a rural area on the border. Tyler Mannion went to Yuma and tells us how the county has been devastated by COVID-19.
Yuma is a city full of people passing through. From the farm workers to the snowbirds, the transient nature of its population is perfect for a virus that likes to hitchhike.
I'm going to stop COVID-19. COVID-19 is not going to touch these families in South County. And then suddenly it's just enormous all over Yuma County, right? We couldn't stop it.
Amanda Aguirre manages a COVID-19 testing site that conducts about 80% of Yuma's tests. She knows the population here, which includes 40,000 plus migrant workers who only live here for a few months, makes catching a racing virus difficult.
But now we want to vaccinate them. And they have a very limited time here in Yuma.
Another high-risk population? The seniors that fill area RV parks like Country Roads RV Village.
We've had 75 cases reported either to the board or to our management. We know that there are probably more.
All this in an area with an infrastructure made for a much smaller community.
About 200,000 people live here, and that's not even including the workers that make Yuma the winter lettuce growing capital of the world. But the medical needs of all those people are served at just one hospital.
So if you're in a bigger city and if your ICU is full and your ED is full, you go on what's called diversion. So in other words, you close your ED or you close your admissions and you send patients to other hospitals.
But that's not an option in Yuma.
Sometimes you were holding ICU patients in the emergency department for days looking for beds, or the volume was such that you were transferring out.
Some patients didn't make it out. Father Emilio Chapa leads the parish of St. Francis of Assisi.
Last month of January has been a month that I've never seen this many funerals before.
The county has hope in the form of a vaccine.
The problem is that we don't have vaccines.
Why do you think that is?
They haven't been allocated to Yuma County.
Aguirre believes the systems she has in place for testing could also be used for mass vaccinations, if they had the supply.
We've been told that we've been allocated 400. So what you can do with 400 vaccines, right?
She thinks they could vaccinate up to 2,000 people per day, but last week, her sites didn't receive a single dose. Just another hit to a community that refuses to give up.
You'll see signs throughout the city, hashtag Yuma Strong, and I believe that message is being followed through as far as that we're strong for each other and we're there for each other.
Even if it isn't, all year round. Tyler Mannion, Cronkite News.
New data from the CDC says double masking is significantly better at stopping the spread of COVID. During their research, the CDC found wearing a disposable mask under a cloth mask is 92% more effective than just wearing a single mask with no additional layers. They also say it's best to knot the ear loops on your mask so it fits tightly to your face. New guidance on quarantines has also come out for those who are fully vaccinated against the coronavirus. The criteria requires at least 2 weeks to have passed since the final shot. The CDC says vaccine protection may wear off after 3 months, so people who had their last shot 3 months ago should quarantine if they're exposed.
Just 2 months after the first COVID-19 vaccine was administered in Arizona, the state delivered its 1 millionth dose yesterday, an important milestone. But some experts say the system for delivering those doses is not reaching the people who may need it most, as Jake Holter reports from our Washington bureau.
1 million doses in 1 million arms. But whose arms exactly?
These pods are delivering vaccine to well-off Arizonans at the expense of low-income people. And remember, low-income people have suffered the brunt of this virus from the start because they have jobs that put them in contact with the public a lot.
Arizona Public Health Association Executive Director Will Humble is not the only one concerned about who's getting the vaccine.
For me, the biggest issue is there's enormous disparities we're still seeing in who got vaccinated and who didn't get vaccinated.
Dr. George C. Benjamin, the director of the American Public Health Association, sees a structural problem with the system used to schedule a shot. For example, if you work in front of a computer all day, you have an advantage.
The person working in the grocery store, the person driving the bus, they can't do that till they get home. And that is usually after all their appointments have gone.
And Humble notes that not everyone has easy access to the internet.
Really, the only way into the system is through a computer, so you need to have a new computer, or at least a good computer. You need to have broadband, you need Wi-Fi, and you need to have the information so that you know precisely when the window of opportunity opens.
And they are not the only ones concerned. During a virtual tour Monday of the State Farm Stadium vaccination site, Vice President Kamala Harris asked Arizona Department of Health Services Director Kara Christ how the state is reaching out to the hardest hit communities.
We are looking to partner with community leaders to put community-based pods in some of those hard-to-reach and targeted zip codes, but we definitely are trying to target those populations because we know how at risk they are.
And state officials are celebrating this milestone. Chris tweeted yesterday that she was, quote-unquote, thrilled to hit 1 million doses, and Governor Doug Ducey called it a major milestone, even if there's more work to be done. In Washington, Jay Coulter, Cronkite News.
Racial breakdown is hard to gauge based on numbers from the Arizona Department of Health Services, since more than 1/3 of vaccine recipients have not gotten the dose just under half of those who got one dose in Arizona were white, with the percentage for other groups all in the single digits.
Many of the country's 13,000 school districts have come up with their own standards for when it's safe to send kids back into schools, but federal guidelines are expected to come out this week. We already know President Joe Biden's goal is to have more than 50% of schools back open by the 100th day of his presidency.
And that means some teaching in classrooms. So at least one day a week, hopefully it's more. And obviously it is as much as is safe in each school and local district.
Experts say it can be done safely, pointing to a study of 17 rural schools. But for some schools, especially those in more populated areas with older buildings or with larger classes, meeting safety guidelines can be a challenge. Another element to this debate is the push for teachers to be prioritized for the COVID-19 vaccine as an added layer of protection.
Mesa Public Schools, where the student population is predominantly Hispanic, has started its COVID-19 vaccination program for teachers and staff. Cronkite News reporter Karina Espinoza explains the process and how it's being received by parents.
This mother of three says now she feels more comfortable with her children attending school in person in Mesa.
As a parent, I feel safer knowing that like teachers, some teachers are getting vaccinated and stuff.
Associate Superintendent Holly Williams says they are working hard to make sure the process is easy for everyone.
We gave flexible time so that employees could get their classes covered if they're a teacher and get over there and get their shot.
Mesa Public Schools is the largest school district in Arizona with 26,386 Hispanic students enrolled. According to the Arizona Department of Health Services, Hispanics are the ethnic group hardest hit by COVID with a 29% rate. Liliana Epp, a mother and a Mesa Public Schools district employee, says she was one of the first to get the vaccine.
Now I feel more safe for me working in schools and also my kids to send them to school because they know their teachers are getting vaccine too.
Mesa Public Schools is getting ready for its second round of vaccine distributions. Campos is relieved.
Hopefully, their risk of getting it is lower than others that don't receive it. Which kind of makes me feel a little bit more comfortable because, we're all humans. We all socialize. Everyone needs to see family.
Karina Espinoza, Cronkite News.
According to Associate Superintendent Williams, the Mesa School District has distributed about 4,000 vaccines. At the moment, they're preparing for a second round of vaccines in 4 of their high school gyms and possibly partnering with other close districts to distribute even more doses.
Cloudy skies are expected tomorrow as we head into the weekend, but right now there's not a cloud in the sky. This is a video from our downtown studios. Melissa Zaremba is standing by on more with what we can expect. Melissa?
Right now we are seeing sun and some clouds. Now, where are those clouds coming from? Let's take a look at our future forecast. They're starting from Oregon and working its way to Arizona. So we are expecting to see some clouds sometime soon. Now let's take a look at our future forecast for just Arizona. Look at all these clouds and maybe chances of rain coming in. So we're definitely not going to dodge those clouds anytime soon. Taking a look at the low temperatures, if you want to experience some snow while you still can, you're going to want to go to Flagstaff at 21 degrees. But if you want to see some sunshine, maybe Yuma, 50 degrees. Now let's take a look at the evening planner. We're right now at sunshine at 72 and then clear for the rest of the evening, but just wait, at 10 p.m. we're going to see some clouds popping up in the low 60s. Taking a look at just the next few days, we're going to see some clouds popping in at 73 and then sunshine just in time for Valentine's Day in the high of 69 degrees. And then the rest of our mid-work week, we're going to see Monday and then Tuesday a 20% chance of rain. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're definitely going to see that sun popping in. In the Weather Center, I'm Melissa Zaremba.
Hi, I'm Marco Peralta. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Coming up is ASU men's basketball running out of time to make the NCAA tournament. Their season struggles coming up next.
Welcome to another edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Taylor Rocha. Let's talk sports.
For the latest on local sports and beyond, we've got you covered.
Let's do this thing.
We challenge reporters to go beyond, a game story. We want stories with depth.
It's just a crucial step from the college experience into the professional experience while you're still in school.
At Cronkite Sports Now, watch the journalists of tomorrow cover sports today.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickenburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland, in Washington, in Louisville.
From Jerusalem. Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons. Your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station.
Sign in and start streaming today.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Marco Peralta with their Cronkite Sports Report. ASU men's basketball returns to action tonight against Oregon, their first game in 12 days. As Cronkite News reporter Zachary Larson tells us, the team is barely hanging on to their tournament hopes despite high expectations.
Frustration is mounting for the Sun Devils after losing 6 games in a row in back-to-back matches against bitter rivals Arizona. Coronavirus developments within ASU and other teams forced the Sun Devils to play either shorthanded or reschedule several games. Injuries and a case of mononucleosis
all within 3 weeks wreaked havoc on the team's chemistry.
We're just undisciplined. We don't play as hard together. We're not a team, and that affects us majorly.
ASU was picked to finish second in the Pac-12 Conference preseason poll, but haven't been able to tread water as a 500 team. Freshmen Josh Christopher and Marcus Bagley are expected to be drafted in the 2021 NBA draft. Seniors Remy Martin and Alonda Verge Jr. are also in their final year, which makes this season all that more important.
I've been here the last 3 years, and just every game is so important. Every game, at this point in our lives, we don't know when we're going to ever play again.
Looking for a spark in the lineup, head coach Bobby Hurley turned to sophomore guard Jalen House to provide the energy ASU needed.
Like everyone this year, we've had guys sick, we've had guys injured, and he's missed some practice time. But when he's on the court in practice, he's vocal, he's energetic, he flies around, he plays hard.
Time is running out to make an all-important NCAA tournament run for what will be the third appearance in the Bobby Hurley era. In Tempe, Zachary Larson, Cronkite News.
The NBA that all teams must play the national anthem before tip-off. The mandate came after Mark Cuban stopped playing the song before Mavericks games. Suns coach Monty Williams understands both sides, but prefers to keep with tradition.
For me, as much as I can appreciate both sides of the coin, it does hold a special place in my heart because of what I've experienced.
The Phoenix Mercury added to their already talented roster by acquiring all-star Kia Nurse from the Liberty in exchange for 2 first-round picks.
Well, I'm extremely excited to be a part of the Mercury team and the family, and to play in front of the X Factor. And I've played against them, so I've felt their energy on the other side, so I'm glad to be on the other side of it now.
That does it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Jenna and Reed.
Well, that does it for this edition of Cronkite News. Thank you for joining us.